So what made you become a counselor?
Well, I used to teach drama in the high school, and so I spent a lot of time with the students, and they would ask me questions that I thought, I don't really know how to answer them, and so I started taking some classes in counseling, and I fell in love with counseling, and so then I decided that's what I wanted to be. So then I became a counselor.
So I know you've mentioned to me before that there's lots of problems that if you catch it when the kids are younger, it leads to less problems when they're older, and it's very much easier to correct those at a young age. So can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, like when they're little, like even in kindergarten, and they're not getting along, and then you help them to understand that sometimes when they're being mean to each other, that you can give them words to say, and when people are mean with each other, it's usually because they're hurt inside, and so we talk about that, and that would, so then they would use their words instead of, or if somebody was being mean to somebody, would say like, nice eyebrows, and get them to think about something else, and then the person that was being mean,
Yeah.
I mean, what do I say to that?
Yeah. So did you ever deal with kids that had a really bad life at home, and that was what was causing them to maybe act up or
Yes.
not be?
Quite often.
Mm-hmm.
And people say, well, I've had, when I say I'm a counselor in grade school, they say, oh, well, kids really in grade school, they don't need that. But there's a lot of hurting children, especially with divorces and trying to handle two different
Right.
families, one family remembering what they're supposed to be doing in each family, and so that can get really hard for little ones. In my school, too, there was a lot of refugee children, and it's made me feel, really appreciate what I have, and it's made me see how important it is to really be able to talk with them and let them know that I care.
Yeah, so refugees, like, from where?
Well, when I first started, it was Bosnia, was where they came from, and then all over.
Wow.
Iraq.
Interesting. So, what kind of substantial differences did you encounter between the refugee kids and then your regular kids who were locals? Did they have a hard time getting along? Did they not see eye to eye? Were there language barriers?
Well, definitely language barriers, but I was extremely surprised at how well they picked up English when they're little like that. And the customs, or sometimes they wouldn't understand, or they would get a word, they would learn a word, but they had no idea what it meant, and so and they have seen a lot of really bad things, some of them, and so it was hard for them to just be sitting doing work when they had all this stuff going around in their minds.
Right.
So
If you have the desire to help someone who's hurting, how can you do it?
I think one of the most important things is to listen, because when they have all this kept inside, they need to have somebody just to listen to them, and so being a good listener is a big part of that.